What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. We got another tutorial today. This is going to be a high fade on some super coarse hair, so you don't want to miss this one, alright? So make sure to subscribe and like the video. Alright, so like always, we're going to start with combing the hair out, getting it all nice and even, make sure there's no knots. My client here is actually growing his hair out. Usually we do a number one with the grain on top, but he wanted to grow it out and start curling it. So we're going to not touch anything off the top, and we're going to give him a high fade. So we're taking off his C cups, and we're just going to go ahead and drop that slightly as we go towards the back. And what you do to one side, you do to the other. So right here, I'm punching in with my Gamma Evo trimmers, and I'm just punching the line in right now. After this, just since this hair is super coarse, I don't want to wear down my trimmers anymore, so I went with my Stylecraft Rebel clipper. These have so much torque and so super strong, and they get pretty close down to the skin, so I'm going to remove most of the bulk or all the bulk with my clipper. Alright, and I highly recommend these clippers too if you're trying to look for some new clippers. They're similar to the Magic Clip, but just a lot stronger, a lot more powerful, and they shred through bulk super easy. As you can tell, they're just going through the hair nice and easy. And then after that, I'm gonna go back over with my trimmer just below right where we kind of created that line. I'm gonna go too low, because like I said, I don't want to wear out my trimmers. And then we're gonna follow up with the bronze shaver, and that's gonna go through all that because the bronze shaver is just a beast. Alright, for the next step, this is the Stylecraft fading comb. I'm going to start with this comb at first to set the foundation of the head. I like to do this first sometimes, just to get the shape nice and squared. And I know I'm going to be blending into the clipper over comb that I created. So as you can see, I'm just scooping up and then clipper over comb and all that. And then we'll come back with our 1.5 guard later, and that should blend in right into that. And as you can see how I'm holding the clipper, I'm pushing in and scooping out a little bit, and you want to stay to the bottom of the comb because that's what length is cutting, and whatever is not showing up at the top, that's what it's going to blend into. So I hope that makes sense. So you want to cut from the bottom of the comb, and whatever is hanging at the top of the teeth of the comb, that's what you're blending into. So right here, I'm showing that you don't want to dig in like that. You want to go ahead and push in and then scoop out slightly. All right, I'm obviously exaggerating it when I'm showing you guys, but you want to go ahead and push it in and then scoop out and keep it squared to his head. All right, next we're going to take our clipper with the blade completely open, and we're going to create about an inch guideline going all the way across. This is my wall clipper, but it has the Andes Masters blade on there. This is the Filthy Blade mod. This is the best clipper hands down when it comes to fading, because you could use these double magnetic guards. But now I got the one guard with the blade completely open, and we're scooping out and into the clipper over comb that we created. Alright, and after that, we're just going to close the lever all the way, and we're going to go ahead and go back right under where we left off with that one, and this is just going to line up the area. As you can see, it's starting to get lighter. It's going to start blending more in with that blade completely open that we did earlier. And we're going to do that same thing throughout the whole head. So now that we got that line softened up, we're going to be using the 0 guard with the blade just slightly closed, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to be playing right under where we left off, and as you can tell, I'm kind of like favoring one side of the clipper. I'm usually going, if I'm going right, I'm using more of the right side of the blade. If I'm going left, I'm using more of the left side of the blade. And then all we're going to do is just close the blade a little bit more, and then we're going to completely close it. And as you can tell, this line is starting to fade out, and we're just going to keep doing that until we have an even blend across the whole head. Also, when it comes to fading, always one side of the head kind of fades a lot easier. So this side, you can tell like it's pretty much blended and nice and even. The other side I had to do a little bit more work on, but that's just normal. Just pick out the darker and light spots. So if it's already light, you know, use a bigger guard. If it's darker, you know, start to use a smaller guard to take out those lines. Alright, now, so all we have to do is remove that bald line. What we're going to do is start with the blade completely open just to test the waters and see how high we could go up. And after that, we're just going to start slowly closing the lever. As you can tell, close it about 1/4 of an inch, go over it, close it another 1/4 of an inch, go a little bit, you know, lower, and then keep going until the blade's completely closed and until that line's completely removed. And then after that, we'll go back and follow up with our trimmer to get it nice and detailed, and then step back and look at the fade and see how it looks. So this is kind of where I'm talking about. If it doesn't blend perfectly in the clipper over comb, you still have some dark spots. I went and grabbed my number 2 guard. I'm just working those dark areas around the parietal ridge just to help soften up, and then you get a more smooth blend into the top. Alright, now we're going to move on to the hairline, and what I'm going to do here, since he doesn't really have the hairline set up, I'm going to kind of just comb the hairs down a little bit. I want to go down, whatever wants to go up goes up, and I'm going to use the number 1 guard. I believe it's closed, and I'm just kind of debulking just so it's a little bit lighter, so I could go ahead and get a nice crispy line up. And then right here I'm pushing up the hair to see where his hairline is. Now you can see right there is pretty much where his hairline is, and that's where I'm going to line up. Alright, and these are my new Gamma hitters. This is the new blade that they got coming out, and these things hit. Let me tell you, these are super sharp. I just gotta tap, and they're cuts like butter, as you can tell. But you might think that, you know, I'm pushing him back or whatever, but I'm really not, because of how his hairline is. If you don't push him up a little bit when it comes to the corner, his vertical bars are gonna be so short and it's gonna look kind of funky. So you had to push up a little bit in order to make it look more natural. And plus also, he didn't have enough hairs in certain areas where I could get a straight line and all the way across. So you sometimes have to push them up a little bit just to get them a nice sharp line where it's going to look natural and fit his head shape and the haircut nicely. And what I'm doing here is just tapping, you know, making sure I got it nice and even, and remove the hairs, and then come back and just keep working on that. And once you got it nice and crispy, you're going to go ahead and go back towards the other side. So after I lined them up, I obviously noticed a little bit of dark spots, so I went back with my 1 guard and started detailing a little bit. But now I just went ahead and had to put his head back down, looked at him straight on, and now I'm connecting what I did to one side and bringing it all the way across back to the other side. You know, your trimmer is pretty much a straight blade, right? So you want to just kind of follow that, create that straight line, and just try keeping your trimmer as straight as possible and just follow all the way across, and then you could always step back and look what side is a little bit uneven and then start to balance and get the lineup as symmetrical as possible. Make sure to always dust off your client. They're nice and clean, but as you can see, it's a sharp lineup. Now we're going to take this haircut to the next level and add a little bit of enhancement. This is the Tune 45 enhancement, and this is the color black. And just look how this is going to just transform his haircut and just take it to the next level, just make it pop so much more. And right here, you could just see in his expression, he's like, wow, that's like, he was just shocked on like how much of a difference it made, but it still looks super natural. Now that we got everything set up, I'm gonna go ahead and lean my client back, and then we're gonna go ahead and take my Turkish razor right here, and we're just gonna go ahead and just line up everything, get it nice and crispy, make sure we're pulling with our opposite hand, making the skin nice and tight, and then using the razor at a 45-degree angle just to line up those edge ups that we just did with our trimmers. Just right here, we're going to try removing some dark areas with our thinning shears, just the little dark spots, just line them up. And that's pretty much going to be it, YouTube. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys learned something new. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, comment down below what you guys think. And here comes the before and after. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and catch you guys on the next one. All right, I'm out.